Okay, so why every diet does work and the secret to making it work for you. So that's what I'm going to cover today. Okay. Now, you might have heard some of my stuff before where I talk about how 93% of diets, quote unquote, fail. And that's kind of true, but kind of not, because it depends what you define as failure. And I'm going to be touching on this today. I'm going to be touching on why and how the diets work, number one, what to do in terms of fitting it to your lifestyle, and some actionable points that you can take away today. Okay. So if that sounds good, drop a yes in the comments. So I know you're watching. So let's get into this. So I want to first put it out there that it's really important to remember here that there's a hard way or there's an easy way in our heads. In our heads. But the reality is, I'm going to throw it out there right now, in that there's no such thing as an easy way. I'm going to cross that out. There's no such thing, because it's going to be hard anyway. Okay. It's going to be hard anyway. You might be watching this right now because there's something that you're finding hard, whether it's day-to-day activities, whether it's the thought of where you'll be in 5 years' time if you don't get a handle on this, whether it's comfort eating, binge eating, and feeling bad for that, which is another issue in itself. And I'm going to say now, if you're doing that right now and you're feeling bad for it, we need to change your relationship with food. We need to stop that right now, because actually you don't become a worse human being because you've had a biscuit. Okay? Tell yourself that now. Okay? Write in the comments, I'm not a worse human being for eating a biscuit. Change that relationship. But my point here is there's something that we're finding hard right now. And it's hard if we change, because you got if you've watched any of the videos that some of the ladies, our clients, have said about the fears they had when they started. Will they be fit enough? I don't go to gyms. I don't like gyms. All these type of things. I can't do it from home. I don't know what to do. Will people look at me? Will I know what to do? All these questions that people have. Can I do it from home? I'm not motivated enough. Will I have time? I'll just put it off. This is hard to kind of motivate ourselves to do it, to think that we possibly can do it. These are hard things to do. Okay. But at the same time, if we do nothing, nothing changes. So it's hard anyway. You're going to run into problems anyway. The problems might be the fear of trying something new, or the problem is staying the same and beating yourself up time and time again. You're going to have a problem anyway, so you might as well choose the problem that's going to get you the results you want. So let's look at why diets actually work here. Because, and I'm going to throw this out there right now, that most diets do work because people lose weight, which means technically they do work. What doesn't happen, though, is that people keep it off. And there's a number of reasons why. So let's delve in. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to get the whiteboard out. Do get worried when I get this whiteboard out. So let's get clear on here. So in the middle, there's a strategy, okay? So there's a strategy that every diet will use, okay? And this is called, if anyone knows, a calorie deficit, okay? So a calorie deficit is the key thing here. So the calorie deficit, every diet, and there's every diet around the outside. Every diet, I'm not drawing the sun, don't worry. You're just gonna see a sun now, aren't you? You'll never forget this now. Though every time the sun's out, you'll go, yeah, just another one of those diets. So whether it's Slimming World, whether it's Weight Watchers, and they won't tell you this. They often don't tell. That's the worrying thing, because your good intentions are often stolen. Whether it's what's it called, Arbon, shake diets, fizz sticks, ketogenic, keto, vegan. Whatever the diet is, I could go fasting, calorie counting. They all work. They all work if you do them, right? Can you agree with that? Drop a yes in the comments if you agree that they all work if you do them. The problem is it doesn't change the underlying issue, right? It doesn't change the fact that we maybe snack a lot. It doesn't change the fact that we emotionally eat. It doesn't change the fact that we struggle to have the motivation to exercise. It doesn't change the fact that we might feel deprived now. So there's all these things that are going on, and all of these, everything, it will work if you're in a calorie deficit. That's how they work. Even the people who research the keto diet, who love it, admit that they say, you know what, it works. Most of the benefits come from the calorie deficit. And that's fine because it can help with hunger levels. It can help with all these things. But these are all tactics to achieve the middle ground here, the calorie deficit. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is because you can use all of these, any of them at any time, to get the results you want. You don't have to stick to one. Because the problem I see is that people will try to follow a diet, and because they can't stick to 100%, they give up, which means they don't carry on, which means they fail. Because the difference really here, I'm getting it, your relationship with food, with dieting, because remember the word diet, let's face it, the word diet actually just means the food that you eat. But we look at diet as like restriction and all these words. But what can you add in? How can you add something in sometime? And I'm just going to share this with you here. And it's something that I share inside our Fit for Life program a lot, because I want you to get a handle on this. So, because when you have setbacks, which you will have setbacks. It's just part of it. You're not perfect. No one's perfect. So we assume that, you know, a lot of people say, I'm an all or nothing person. Drop an all or nothing in the comments if you're an all or nothing person. So, you know, we got 0%, we got 100%. And we assume that if we're 100% on it, we'll be happy. But the reality is, if we're 100% on it, we're annoyed. Because we're missing out on stuff. We can't do a social event, it's not worth it. Can't wait till the end. We're waiting to the end, this diet ends. If we're 0% on it, we're also unhappy because we're nutritionally deprived. Maybe we're sleeping poorly. Maybe we're more stressed because, remember, nutrition's a stressor. It's either pro-inflammatory or anti-inflammatory. What we put in our mouth, our input impacts our output. How we are around others, our energy levels. Everything's linked to our energy levels, our productivity, our work, how we are with family, friends, motivation, sleep, all these things. You know, I know for sure I'm more ratty when I'm not eating right. So we find that the sweet spot is around 70%. Okay, so the sweet spot's around 70%. And that gives you that flexibility, that leeway here. And of course, I'm going to throw it out there, not many people will tell you this. You'll get better results the closer you are to 100% while you're doing it. But what did I say at the start? The problem is people aren't sticking to it. Now, I'm also going to throw out there, there'll be times where you're around the 20% mark. And when you're around the 20% mark, that's absolutely fine. You don't become a worse person because you're 20% on it. But here's the difference. If you want to get that balance right into your health and your fitness, what changes in 5 years' time? If you think about it, if nothing changes in 5 years' time, where are you going to be? It's a powerful question. But if you want to get those results, you've got to make sure that you're jumping straight back to that 70 as quickly as you can, and you don't judge this moment. In fact, you enjoy it. Enjoy it. At least if you're going to do it, enjoy it. Enjoy the hell out of it. So task one for you here is to pick the percentage that you want to be. 70 might be too high for you right now. But here's what your brain will do. That little voice in our head will go, 70%? Oh, we can't do it. Social events, all those things. That's fine. Drop it to what you can do. Maybe 50% is your go-to now. Because guess what? Half-assed is better than no-assed. I'll write that down. Half-assed is better than no-assed. It's true. If you're at 20% for the next 5 months, or you're at 50% for the next 5 months, what's going to get you better results? Plain and simple. So let's make this really actionable. I want you to firstly note down the percentage that you aim to be, because without expectations in your head, here's the problem. Without expectations, you'll be expecting perfect. And guess what? This is the lovely bit. You don't even know what perfect looks like. And because you don't know what perfect looks like, we're annoyed. So what do we do instead? Because we don't know what it looks like, we focus on how we don't want to feel. So we focus on how we don't want to feel. I'll move this down here. Because it's easier. I know that I'm feeling rubbish, so I'm just going to focus on not feeling rubbish. But what do we get more of? Feeling rubbish. Because we feel rubbish, we might as well eat to make us feel better, drink to make us feel better. So in here, where do we go from here? So most of us don't know how we want to feel. So if I don't know how I want to feel, and if you don't know how you want to feel, how do you know what to do next? So this is where, really simple way, we could delve into a lot more deeper stuff with this. But I want to make this actionable right now. So to do this in a really simple way, I just want you to choose the percentage where you're going to be, okay? Write it in the comments. Write it in the comments below. So let's make this even more actionable now. So write in the comments below what percentage you're going to go for, whether it's 80%, whether it is 90%. You're going to get better results there if you feel you can stick to it. You don't have to stick to it forever. It could be that you go 90% Monday to Friday, 50% at the weekends. Just having that expectation in your head will change your relationship with food. You might not believe me, and if you don't do anything about this, nothing will change. That's why we're here. That's why we give you so much accountability. Okay. So let's go back to where we were with the presentation on here. And we're gonna get into a bit more detail with this now. So habits, we've got to change our habits. And I love this. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. No single instance will transform your beliefs, but as the votes build up, so does the evidence of your new identity. I love it. Because often the actions you take, unless they're huge, unless they're big, so let's face it, if the action is big, if the habit is a big habit and it's a big change you're going to make, you know it's going to make a difference. But what does your little voice do? Oh, I'll start Monday. I'll start a week on Monday. Can't wait for it. You get optimistic, but we do nothing. But let's say we make the habit really small. That little voice, what does it say? It says, oh, that won't do anything. Oh, that'll do nothing. 1 minute workout, what's that? Some of the ladies who've done the 1 minute workout now doing half an hour every day, twice a day, 4 times a day in some cases. Crazy. No single instance will transform your beliefs, but as the votes build up, so does the evidence of your new identity. And they're seemingly insignificant votes. But every vote you do, every little step, 1% better each day. This is you versus you, remember. Who do you want to be? Example to your kids, grandkids, family? To yourself? What changes if you do it? Who do you want to become? Because that's unwritten. And consider, there's no positives here without negatives. So on your journey right now, we're about to go into a little bit of an actionable thing you can take away from this, given what I've said so far. I'm not going into huge detail here because I'll be here all day. I want to give you actionable stuff because our main problem is inaction. We don't do anything. We don't see the cost of inaction. I want to get your attention on that. It's going to be hard anyway. There's a cost of doing nothing. There's a cost of doing something. It takes energy, it takes your time. There's also a cost of doing nothing. It takes energy, it takes your time. Things could get worse, things get harder. The number of times I've spoken to people who said, Matt, I wish I started like a year ago. I said, don't worry about that. You're here now, but just bear that in mind. So let's make this really practical now. So this is what we call the meal maker here. Now, most people struggle because they're either on and off it like anything else, like literally on, off, on, off. Because often we go in really hard because we want to make those big significant changes, forgetting that actually if we can't stick to it for more than a few days, then we just think, oh, I'll start again next Monday. We're writing off 80% of the week. So this just simplifies down. This makes sure, one, you don't have to count calories and count loads of points or sins or greens or reds or ambers. Two, it means you get a balance of nutrients in. You're not restricting food groups. You have the option to have any foods that you like. Permission. Free. You ensure that you also have snacks and you don't just go cold turkey on it. So what do? Well, every meal you have. So let's say you have 3 meals a day. You have a hand-sized portion of protein at every meal. Could be chicken, fish, could be meats, could be eggs, could be soy, could be vegetarian, vegan, meat substitutes. If you're using beans or legumes, double up on them. So you would have 2 hand sizes to just increase the protein. So veggies, as many veggies as you can have, as many veggies as you like. Fats, thumb-sized portion of fat, so whether that's the oil you use, whether that's seeds that you have in your porridge, whatever it is. Okay? And if you can't get protein at every meal, don't stress about it. This is about just increasing it. So it might be that you have protein in 2 meals most of the time now instead of 1. Or you have protein 3 meals a day, but only on 2 days a week. It's about getting that protein up. That's going to help hunger. It's going to help you stick to it. It's going to help that muscle tone, the recovery. Here's the key one though. Up to 300 calories from any food you like. This is permission to have whatever you want outside of that. So if you say, yeah, but I want to eat more fats, great. Use that 300 calorie allowance or just choose whatever you want in that. That could be a Snickers bar. It could be a nice big latte. It could be some fruit because you just want to keep it voluminous. It doesn't have to be something that's a quote unquote, I'm going to say it, quote unquote food that you think is bad. It could be anything. Like you could use it for another more kind of protein if you wanted to. Yogurts, sweets, like having that planned in as part of your day, ice cream, whatever. You're giving yourself permission to have it. And we're going back to that expectations chat I did. Now you've got expectations, you can define whether you've done it or not, rather than living in la la land, as we like to call it. And we're just thinking about how we don't want to feel. We're thinking about the perfect day, but we don't even know what the perfect day is. So what I want you to do is apply this straight away. If you want a copy of this, drop a meal maker comment below and I'll send that over to you. Drop meal maker in the comments, I'll send that over to you. So the key thing that stands in the way of you sticking to it, 9 times out of 10, is accountability. Whether that's working with a coach like us, or whether that's working with someone, a family member, friend, who's going to keep you accountable to it. It's the number one thing. Doing the things that we already know we need to do. I might not have taught you one thing this morning. But the key thing is I want to get you to do it. That's the key way. I often say, I don't often teach you anything, but I'll put it in a way that you do it. And that's what we do. So one habit at a time, pick one thing. So can you apply this straight away today? Set those expectations. What percentage are you going to go at? Is it going to be different weekday and weekend? Are you going to plan your snacks now in advance? Are we ready to go? I hope we are. Surround yourself with like-minded people, like this group here. And inside our Fit for Life group, it's even closer for obvious reasons. We have more contact, more accountability, more Q&As, more live work. Okay. So I hope that helped. Drop me your biggest take home in there in the comments. If you've got any questions on that, do drop me a message and I will see you soon. Hope that was helpful. Speak soon and take care.